The Land Rover Discovery is a big, bulky British SUV that's mainly meant to go off-roading and to be very luxurious inside. But what if you wanted to take it on a long-distance road trip? How economical would it be? Today, we're going to find out. This is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're running the highway fuel economy test on the 2021 Land Rover Discovery R-Dynamic S with the 3-liter turbo inline 6. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look around it. From the side and from the front, this is a very straightforward design. It's quite tall, it's very Land Rover-ish, and I think that it looks great. Even in this tan color, we've got these optional 21-inch black wheels. We've got the optional black roof, so plenty of contrasting colors on this Land Rover. It's when you get to the back where things get a little bit iffy. So this is definitely the most controversial angle of this car, simply because it's not symmetrical. And personally, I don't mind it. The license plate sits slightly over to the left to sort of mimic the design of the LR4 and Discoveries of years past. But I think it looks all right. I think overall, the design of this car is pretty nice. It fits the Land Rover vibe. It's quite a bit bigger in person than it looks in photos. It's got a pretty high roofline and such things. But as I mentioned earlier, 3-liter turbo inline 6 with a mild hybrid system. So it'll be interesting to see how this car does. The previous engine that was offered in this Discovery, the previous 6-cylinder, I should say, was a supercharged V6. So quite a different recipe here in this new Discovery. Let's go ahead and get started. So then, why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which rates this Discovery R-Dynamic S at 24 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour, and we know that some people like to take their cars on actual long road trips. So a couple things worth noting today. Outside temperature is 47 degrees Fahrenheit. Tire pressure is set to a door placard indicated 44 PSI front and 50 PSI rear. And we're going to be running the climate control at 73 degrees auto, just for a nice baseline figure. We're also going to be filling up at the same pump both times using the same 3-click fueling method. All right, let's go ahead and get our first fill. All right, guys, and 14.9 gallons in for our first fill. I've been driving this thing all week, and with premium fuel being $5.29 a gallon, $79 worth of petrol into this Land Rover. And as you can see, we are absolutely brimmed with our 3-click fueling method there. I'm gonna try not to get this on my hands, although it may. Whew. All right. There we go. All right, $79 in for our first fill, 14 gallons. Let's go ahead and get started on our test. Let's go ahead and get our climate control set before we start the engine. 73 degrees. Go ahead and click auto. Auto. There we go. That is set to 73 degrees auto. Let's go ahead and start our engine. All right, let's go ahead and set our trip here and go ahead and get started. So we do have a couple of drive modes in this Land Rover Discovery. Won't go through them all, but the only important one you need to know about today is Eco. All of the other ones have to do with off-roading. We've got grass, gravel, snow, we've got mud and ruts, and a couple of other different off-road drive modes that really allow you to push this Discovery to the limit if you're driving through a field in Great Britain or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, though, we're going to run it today in Eco mode to give it as much of a chance as possible to meet or exceed, which is always what we hope, its EPA rating. All right, guys, well, the highway's about a half mile away. I will meet you when I am merging on. Now, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm not going to be doing any drafting or any purposely economical driving. All we're going to do is get on the highway, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles an hour, and let the car do the rest. We're just going to drive as we would if we were just going on a nice, relaxed road trip somewhere. Well, it looks like we're going to be able to set our cruise control over here in the right lane, so let's go ahead and do that. 72 miles an hour set there. Let's go ahead and turn our lane keep assist on as well. It looks like 72 on our cluster is our true readout, 72 miles an hour on our GPS. Cool. Well, under first initial highway driving impressions, there's honestly minimal wind intrusion. There's minimal road noise. These tires are pretty quiet. The actual ride itself is very cushy. We're riding on some air suspension, and even though we do have 21-inch wheels, the road noise and the actual ride is not affected by them. Overall seat comfort, well, I'll be able to tell you more about that at the end of the trip, but as for right now, it's pretty good. Really soft leather and pretty cushy feel to these seats. So I'm going to go ahead and get to driving. Our trip's about 102 miles, so I will talk to you guys in about 95 miles. But in the meantime, enjoy the time lapse. And we are finishing up our journey here in this Land Rover Discovery. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed dynamically how nice this car has done, how straight it goes down the highway, how smoothly it rides, and just touching again on the minimal amount of intrusion from the road or the wind. So pretty impressive. What I don't super love is the lack of adaptive cruise and also the lane keep assist. While it is there and it will do some things, it'll bounce you back and forth to make sure you don't go out of a lane. It's not a steering assist, and also it gets easily confused. I was going through a construction zone. In fact, I was actually emerging out of a construction zone, so there wasn't even any lines for it to be confused on, and the pavement was just slightly different in the middle, and it got super confused, and it yanked the wheel super hard to the right, and I had to catch it. Needless to say, I drove without that for a little bit until we got back to normal even pavement, and then I put it back on. So not the best thing. Coming up to our exit here, and we are showing on the display here that we've been averaging just about 26 MPG, slightly under. Oh, in fact, it's just ticked over there to 26 MPG average. We'll have to see once we get to the pump how accurate that is, but if that readout is accurate, that means that we have beaten EPA by 2 MPG. So we'll have to wait to find out till we get to the pump and do some math. But with all that being said, I'm going to finish out my last couple miles here, and I will meet you guys at the pump. All right, and 4.138 gallons in there for our final fill. All right, let's go ahead and do our final calculation here. Our journey today, 102.22 miles, and we know that we used 4.138 gallons of gas, which gives us a final readout of 24.7 MPG, rounding us up to 25 MPG in this Discovery, meaning we have beaten EPA. Pretty cool achievement there. I did not expect this big brick on wheels to beat EPA. I thought maybe if we were lucky, we'd meet it. It's a little bit chilly out today, but not below freezing. So I guess decent weather conditions, and we're running on just the set of tires that comes on this car from the factory. So pretty good number there, 24.7. And this Discovery with the 3-liter has a 24-gallon fuel tank, which means you have an effective highway cruising range of 590 miles. That is quite the range on this Discovery. So pretty cool stuff. Definitely a better performance than I expected. Very comfortable on the highway. Minimal intrusion from the road or wind. Just a nice interior to be in, lots of headroom, airy cabin, even though there's lots of dark materials in here. The only negative things are the lane keep assist and lack of radar guided cruise, but other than that, not too bad of a thing. Really good powertrain and decently efficient as well for the size of this vehicle. So that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.